And then, it's one of those presents you bring out and you're like, remember how I got you this? It's so thoughtful of me. And like, the person's like,
know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Did you know that?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's in a really special place. I don't remember where.
it's in my heart.
It visited. It went to the farm.
This is the After Dinner Mint, a podcast of stories I tell you at dinner. Think of the mint as the stories you tell after you've been kicked out of the restaurant, holding your mint, standing in the street, telling more honest stories with your friends than you did at the table. It's not a sermon. It's not advice. It's not self-help. We're processing what we're learning about faith and life, honestly, in community, to encourage you to do that with your God and your community. Welcome to the After Dinner Mint, and I'm your host, Beck, and I'm here with Britt and Maddie. If you guys could introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Britt. I am an accredited mental health social worker working in private practice and one of the co-people on this podcast on every so often.
Thanks, Britt. I'm Maddie. I am studying theology at the moment and staying home with my two little ones and hanging out with my husband.
Excellent. Hi, I'm Beck. I am the founder of Stories I Tell You at Dinner. I'm trained as a clinical psych, but currently working in the home with my three boys, and it is a delight. I say words super great. Now, this is our last episode for the season, and we thought it would be so nice to prepare ourselves for summer, to help you guys prepare for summer, for all of like the books and the podcast episodes and the bad TV that you're going to binge over the summer and after Christmas and the hazy time between Christmas and New Year's. So we thought we kind of get you, I don't know, maybe like your library list ready. Well, anyway, that's me. That's how I spend my summer holidays, with a library card. I'm sure you guys have better plans. Britt,
Just so many credits on Audible.
Just so many credits on Audible.
There we go.
I want to be an audiobook person. But I do them very slowly. All right. Maddie, can you tell us what are some books that you have read recently and that you solidly love?
I have multiple genres here. Like, I've even got like a cooking recommendation book.
I thought that I was going to extreme, that I had fiction and nonfiction. So I love that you have genres. Excellent.
Yes. All right. Great.
Start us off with one.
Okay. Well, I really like some historical fiction. And recently I audiobooked Kate Quinn's The Briar Club, which I found really interesting. It's like post-war, like 60s in, I think, Washington, D.C. And it was just reflecting on a bit of the cultural climate, but also fiction and really interesting stories and stuff based on a true character. But of course, it's still fiction. I really enjoyed that.
I've
Don't know if you guys
never
read
heard
any
of that lady.
Quinn stuff.
I have never heard of her, but I'm interested. I've written it down.
Yeah, she does a lot of historical fiction, and it's mostly like based around strong women around like World War I and World War II, and she writes their stories, but she'll base it on, say, like this is based on the history of women in Russia in the Air Force, because they were like an Air Force. Wow. Oh, I don't know. You don't call it a platoon. Someone's going to, I don't know. An Air Force like team who were all women in the Russian army. And so it followed like the story of one of them. So she bases it on things that actually happened, but then she creates a story, a fictional character around it.
Oh, interesting.
They're really
interesting. That is cool.
I've really liked listening to those. She's got a few books. One's in Russia, one, like someone's a spy in Germany, a female spy in Germany, someone else's cracking code in England. There's a few of those. I've actually really enjoyed that genre.
Who's the author again?
Kate Quinn.
Kate Quinn, okay.
And at the very end, she'll explain the actual like facts that like inspired the story, which I enjoy.
I feel like historical fiction for me is hit and miss. Like, I really, really liked Daisy Jones and the Six, but
yeah,
I feel like it's the story for me. I'm like, if it's not a good story, I'm just like, nah.
Well, it still has to be a good story. Just
it's sometimes
interesting when it aligns with real people.
Yeah.
People have interesting stories. Anyway.
What were your other ones? Well, you
I had
tell us. How many have you got?
Oh, yeah.
How many's on your list,
I
matey?
hooked you in. I think I was saying earlier that I didn't think I'd read very much this year. And then I remembered that I was breastfeeding for a significant portion of it. And I was reading a lot, but they were like a bunch of fantasy novels because I was too tired to deal with anything that
great.
resembled real life. And
I know
so,
what I came here for.
like, yeah. So I think there was a comment about rereading Harry Potter series. And yeah, absolutely. That's happened. A bit of audiobooks there. Brings me back. But no, there's one called a new author I found recently is James Islington. And he's like a fantasy author and makes this. He's got a couple that are too complex for me to try and explain. But if anyone likes fantasy and likes like Brandon Sanderson and that kind of genre and style, James Islington, an Australian guy who's made some really interesting fantasy books.
Okay.
But are there dragons?
He hasn't made that many, so it's a small. Oh, it's not like dragons, but I don't want to say magic because that sounds weird, but maybe it is magic. Yeah. Anyway.
I can't say I've gotten into fantasy.
No? Tell us about yours,
Except
Brie.
that, well, okay, so this year I reread the entire Harry Potter series.
Oh, so good.
And
So it's not fantasy, but we just missed our letters to Hogwarts.
yeah, is that fantasy?
waiting for
What's the genre?
Yeah.
It kind of is, isn't it? I think firstly, I think they're really well-written books. Like the world she creates is brilliant. I feel like I'm not converting anyone on this because clearly like the last however many years that they've been around, it's big. I'm like, have you guys heard
Yeah.
of Hogwarts? But I think particularly I read those books in high school and I do think there's something really nostalgic about revisiting a story that you read at a different point in your life and picking up pieces of it as an adult that I couldn't as a child. So like there's real
Yeah,
depth
absolutely.
to like you know, Harry's grief at times. I was really struck by how she writes that in a way that like as a 17 or 15-year-old, however old I was, I just would have like glanced over. So I don't know. There's
Just anger.
richness, I think, in
Yeah.
like reading books at different stages of life.
Have you ever,
So
just quietly, ever listened to it as an audiobook with Stephen Fry?
Never. Any good?
I love Stephen Fry. He does a great job, actually. So anyone who
He's got
likes
a nice
audiobooks
voice.
and wants to re-listen, the only thing is that do not like the voice he does for Tonks, but we can still get past that. It's just like, it's got this accent, it's like nasally and then gives like someone else a lisp. But actually, every single other character, awesome. It was just,
I
anyway.
don't favor audiobooks because I feel like I don't take in the information as well.
I can't. I really struggle with audiobooks. Like, I just can't maintain attention.
Yes, I think that's what
I've
it
just
is.
lost it and it's taking too long. I'm like, I can't deal with it. Have either of you read? So it's under the pen name Robert Galbraith, but it's J.K. Rowling, and she's written like these series of detective fiction novels. And oh my goodness, they're so good. And then they have this will they, won't they love relationship between the two detectives, and it goes over a series of books. And so they're called Cormoran Strike is the detective, and he, oh my goodness, he's this private detective he was like in the army, like what is it, the Special Investigative Bureau, and then he's got this lady like Robin who is originally like married to someone else. And it's so fascinating over all these books, like, because they really have this real respect for each other and they grow as like detectives and they solve all these like grisly crimes. But I love them. They're like doorstops, but because it's J.K. Rowling, just everything is excellent. You could read them.
Okay.
I love that. One came out this year. It's the 8th novel and it's called The Hallmarked Man. And it was so good. It was so good. And then they turned it into a BBC series. So it's called the Cormoran Strike novels. Then the BBC turned them all into like mini series. And if you love J.K. Rowling,
I
don't know.
She
She
did some other ones.
writing.
no. So it's by she's initially sold the first book under a pen name by a guy called Robert Galbraith, but then they found out that it was her. But I just love that she was like, I want to see if I can still sell books like that aren't under my name.
Yeah.
Well, also
What just
she's
happened?
been heavily cancelled. Like people hate J.K. Rowling because of her commentary on stuff and like whatever people think about it. Because I'm always a bit confused with like by the level of vitriol people have towards her. And then I've like read her stuff and I'm like, I don't know that she's is this why people really hate her. So I'm not surprised she has
Yeah.
to pen name because I don't think she well, I suppose it's probably a
before she got
subset of people
cancelled
that
as
hate
well.
her enough. What's that?
But I think she started those novels perhaps before she got cancelled as well. But it's
Oh yeah, true.
yeah, but people, I love her.
Well, she's a brilliant writer. Like
Yeah.
just as an aside of whatever people think about any of her stuff, it's like she's actually very good at what she does.
She's
I
excellent.
appreciated with the Harry Potter series that it like got more. The books and the writing seemed to get a little bit more mature as he matured, like as the character matured. It just like the themes
Really-
got more mature, and you're like, oh,
And I love the themes of like sacrifice and friendship and like good triumphing over evil.
I read them from when I was a kid, and I just like I had to wait for the books to come out, and I just
Sam,
have such fond. Yeah.
which do you know there's a TV series coming?
yes,
No. Oh wait, no. Maybe Rach mentioned, and maybe you mentioned.
There's an HBO series coming. So I just think it's a good time to dive into the books again because then you'll actually know the storyline enough for a TV series. Because the movies, in my opinion, were a real letdown.
I didn't like them. I was just like, why? No, I didn't like them. I don't like to watch them.
No, I didn't.
I loved
know.
watching them, but I also love the books more and can't wait to see them do the books and the complexities of various things a little bit
Yes,
more justice
agreed.
through a TV series. So I'm a lover of both, but maybe we should move on from Harry Potter and reckon back.
The other, so I
Have you read Harry Potter? Have you heard about it? Like,
I apologize if any of our listeners are offended by Harry Potter.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, and also if you grew up in the time where parents wouldn't let you read it, what a time to be
in
alive.
high school, I'm like, wow. Yeah, it's so fascinating to me. I'm like, but he's like a Jesus figure. But I understand that, like, some people and, have
witchcraft.
understand.
Anyway,
Spells.
The themes. I know. I love the themes.
I have two other recommendations.
Mm.
For one, I really enjoyed Emily Henry's new book, Great Big Beautiful Life.
But I was like, I just love Emily Henry. I love her. I love her characters. They're just so well rounded and they're funny and they're bantery like Nora Ephron. I was like, it's like a Nora Ephron movie and I'm just so here for it.
And one of her movies is being made into People You Meet on Vacation, comes out in January on Netflix. I'm quite excited about that.
That was the lead. I want to say it was not my favorite. I read it and I reread it, but it's not my favorite of hers.
No,
Don't
but
know
you know what? They've made one. Who cares? They'll make the rest if it's successful.
Do it. Beatree, book lovers.
But I liked Great Big Beautiful Life because it was a slight departure from her usual storyline and it switched back in time and had kind of almost several sets of protagonists, which I liked as a concept. And the other one I really loved was Living Life Backwards, which is a Christian book on the book of Ecclesiastes.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me.
fantastic.
If you have not read it, I highly recommend it because it's part of his thesis. Firstly, I did audiobook this one and the guy voice is really good. And you can audiobook it for free on Hoopla if you have like a library membership, so you don't have to pay for it. Although, good to support these writers. But it talks a lot about living life in light of our mortality and like the concept of a bucket list being like a good thing to think about what you're going to impart and what you're going to leave. I found it really helpful in terms of thinking about dealing with some decisions I needed to make. It just had really wise advice on living in harmony with other people and managing situations that might become conflictual. So I found it particularly helpful.
Nice.
But yeah, I would highly, highly recommend it. And then the other one I'm reading but haven't finished, which I just think is a really interesting idea, is The Worst Thing I've Ever Done by Claire Stevens.
I've never heard of that book.
So Claire and Jessie Stevens are these twins. They're a Mamma Mia. Well, actually, Claire's not anymore, but they're like kind of media figures, and they're just really interesting, clever girls. And Claire's book is about this concept of someone going viral for all the wrong reasons and like everybody hating on them and how you actually deal with that. And she started a companion podcast where she interviews people who've basically been cancelled. You would love this.
Interesting.
I would. It's like my worst
Yeah.
nightmare. I'm like, oh no, what
Yeah.
if I got cancelled on the internet?
Yeah, so she kind of looks at
Yeah,
the psychology of it,
toxic
like
stuff.
what is happening for the person. So the protagonist is being cancelled, but I haven't finished the book, but it is flicking back in time between like during the event, before the event, and after the event. So you're trying to get a sense of what this person's actually done that's so bad that everyone's cancelling them.
Wow.
Interesting.
yeah,
I have to tell you about a book that I read recently, Britt, and I have been meaning to tell you about it, but I was like,
Tell me.
now the podcast is a perfect time. It is a book called I Am Lucy Barton by a lady called Elizabeth Strout. And I had heard of Elizabeth Strout because Amy recommended a book to me, Amy Stover, but it was a different one. And I picked it up while I was away at the farm. So it was only, I'm gesturing, but it's tiny, right? Like it was a really short book. And I had saw that she'd won the Pulitzer Prize or something else. I was like, okay. But within like the first, I reckon 2 pages, it had me completely hooked. It's like this woman, she has kids, she has a husband. She's in hospital for a long time, like a couple of months. And her mum, her estranged mum, comes to visit her and they spend a couple of days together in this hospital. And you think, on the face of it, how is there even a book? How is this even a point? But the way this woman writes, like your heart is just in your chest. You're like, and like this woman, Lucy Barton, who's in the hospital, she is thinking, like her mum coming back has brought all this stuff about like her childhood. And it's almost so painful that they can't talk about it. So they're there and they're kind of talking about it, but you're like, oh, is she going to say the thing? She's not going to say it. Like, it's so heartbreaking. And you get this, it's almost like that emotional deprivation schema. Like, this woman goes through the world and she is so lonely. And like, you finish the book and you're like, this was so brilliant. It did so much with so little. And yet, like, I just went around the next couple of days and I was just sad. I was like, oh, like she just kind of like really quietly breaks your heart.
Oh, I don't know that.
Why do you want to make me feel sad, Beck?
I don't know. I don't know. And I was like, but it's such a brilliant piece. If I could read another one of her books, if I have it in me. But I also was like,
think I have that in me. That sounds awful. She's just very lonely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't understand if someone sits in. Yeah, like someone sitting in front of me is different to like, because also like I get really immersed in fiction when I read it. So I have to be careful that I don't like, what was that one a few years ago with the woman who like you read half the book and it seems like she's got autism, and then you read half the book and it seems like she's just experienced this significant trauma.
oh, it was Eleanor Oliphant for Slightly Fine. Oh, yeah, that was excellent.
That was
Amazing.
another recommendation.
Great book. Also, Reese Witherspoon's bought the rights to make it a movie.
Oh my goodness.
Maddie, what are your other books? Tell us your other
I have other books too, but Maddie, please tell us. Take us off this loop.
Look, I've been deep in studying for an Isaiah unit and doing a assignment for that. So I've actually got a commentary on that that's actually really accessible if you're just someone who's leading a Bible study or just like, it's super accessible. Anyway, it's by a guy called Kirk Paxton, and he's over in Sydney. And he, I wanted to high five him because he previously worked as a speech pathologist like myself. So I was like, great guy. Anyway, he wrote this
Great
book
life choice
on Isaiah. And it's really like, easy to access, easy to understand. It's not got complex language, but also have loved like reflecting on the fact that the book of Isaiah, he describes it as like it's the Bible, but in miniature. That's what the message is communicating. It's even got starts at the beginning of creation, talks about how creation's going to be made new. It talks about how God will redeem his people for himself through an atoning sacrifice and establish a new kingdom on the other side. And so I really loved the way that he's described the way, like Isaiah in that way, and helped kind of unpack it. So if anyone's looking for a good resource, if you're getting into it in Bible study, that's a good one. Isaiah by Kirk Paxton.
Okay.
And so, yep. And then my other one was just a completely different genre, is that cookbook Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat by Samin Nosrat.
I love that.
Fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fantastic because it like gets into the science behind cooking. And I love science. Like, it breaks down why when you add this thing in, it changes texture or it changes the balance or whatever it is. Anyway, I love that kind of stuff. So I'm like,
you watched
the nerdy
series?
science stuff.
They made about that with her.
Yeah, I really liked it.
It was good, hey?
It was so good. It got me thinking about it. That's what made me want to read the book. And the book has like little illustrations and stuff. And anyway, love it.
And like
it has flavor wheels for pictures. So good.
You can buy her prints.
That's what I want. That's actually what I want.
It was great. Well, they meant to buy me the book, and then they realised they accidentally bought me the print. They go said no. And so I rotate the prints in my kitchen because they're actually really cool.
Yeah, I bought the prints for my husband for Christmas or something. Anyway, they're sitting in the packet. They've never come out. It's one of those beautiful prints. I was like, this is such a good present. And then it's just like never quite made it anywhere. It's like, and then, it's one of those presents you bring out and you're like, remember how I got you this? It's so thoughtful of me. And like, the person's like,
I know.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's in a really special place. I don't remember where.
it's in my heart.
It went to the farm.
Yeah, totally. It's got a new family now.
Like my dog my parents are like, it chased little children down the street. They're like, Sam's gone to a new home now. You're like, did Sam die? Like, you've gone to a farm. A farm.
Oh, and look, Britt, as long as it's not like you've gone to a re-gifting party. Have you ever been to one of those where you're
Yes.
supposed to re-gift a Secret Santa? And he's like got your gift and he's kind of like, no, sorry.
The thing is, I would actually be okay because at least someone would use it. Like, I feel like it's such a waste. It's sitting in our house.
Dude, give it to me. I'll use it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll suggest it to
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Give it away.
Not passive aggressive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Sorry.
Beck,
tell us about your books.
I know. I'm like, I feel like everything else I don't have that much to contribute, but I do have some fiction recommendations.
Love it. Yes.
Okay.
Do it. Tell us.
My fiction recommendations that are not depressing. One is Kaya, one of our writers, her Blackwood series, like Welcome to Blackwood. And then the last one came out this year and they were so fun. Like, so the first one is called Welcome to Blackwood. The second one is Leaving Blackwood. And the third that came out this year was Redeeming Blackwood. And they were just fun. They're set in like a town in Western Australia. They're like romance. There's like bad guys. There's lots of sarcasm. It's just, they're really fun. I really, really cannot recommend them enough. Like, they're just like comfort fun reads. I'm like, what else do I have that's not depressing? I read The Princess Bride. That was also just like lots of fun. I read Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is completely different to what I thought it would be, but like just awesome. Like, it was just, yeah. And then I read another one called The Southern Book Club Guide to Vampire Slaying. That was like collided the 80s with like
to vampire
horror vampire. I know. And it was just,
wow.
I need someone else to read it. It was like legitimately terrifying. And then this woman, like, no one believes her for so long, her and her friends, about that this man in their town is a vampire. And it's like actually there's the horror of that, and then there's a horror of like there's actually a vampire that they have to slay, and it's just
I'm torn between curiosity, amusement, and like complete bewilderment.
Yes.
That's don't read it at night time.
I could actually no. I couldn't read it because it would scare me. I get scared really easily.
Yeah. Robbie
There's a
won't
lot
let
of
me
books
keep
on
the
now.
light on. He keeps them on. I get scared. Keep the light on. No, I'm kidding. I don't actually need a light on. I'm quite happy sleeping at the dark. But vampires, I'll keep away from those.
Yeah, like just sparkly ones, they're fine.
The driving Volvos and like,
So bad.
oh,
Okay, anyway, those are my
What's your
Good books. All right,
Wait,
great.
that was
Non-fiction?
fiction.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
No, I can't. Nah, I feel like the other ones I've mainly already told you guys about, but I did read a book while I was prepping the talk that was, what's her name? Meredith Aguero lent to me. That was called God's Good Design, What the Bible Really Says About Men and Women by Claire Smith. A woman who
it's a good book.
she was trained at Moore Theological College. And what I just have not come across a book like it. And she just really goes through all the tricky passages about women and what women should do in church and just pulls them apart. And she's like, does it say this? Does it say that? Like she struggled with all of them as an adult. And I think she became a Christian as an adult. And it just gave me so much good stuff to think about. And I wouldn't have found this book had I not have done a talk. But I solidly recommend it. It's a really good one. And it's not a hard book to read. Like it came out of a set of talks that she had done at women's conferences over years. So you can tell that she's spoken to a lot of people about it. Like she's done that content a lot. So she raises all the objections that come with it. So it's quite thoughtful, and it's one that people with, it's very respectful to people with opposing viewpoints, but she's like, this is why we think this, and this is why.
Yeah, I've read it. It was really, really good, really accessible, and really like thought-provoking as well. And I think she just handled the passages really well and faithfully and explained them well. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, cool. Well, anyway.
On the theme of Christian ones as well, like a year ago, I read When the Noise Won't Stop by Paul Crush. No, okay, I'm going to butcher that name. But it's When the Noise Won't Stop. And it was a Christian guide to dealing with anxiety.
Okay.
It unpacks how Christians, or like what the Bible says about anxiety, what is kind of how we manage anxiety and kind of a stigmas around it as well, where people can sometimes either be like worried that if they're anxious about something that they're sinning or like, disobeying God by not trusting. But actually there is anxiety in the Bible, and how do we actually deal with these verses? It was actually really interesting thinking about it, and also think that he just did a great job dealing with it from biblical point of view, but also from a very pastoral point of view, as someone who's kind of dealt with his own anxieties and also been a pastor to people with anxiety. So yeah, I thought that was a really good recommendation. If any of our listeners kind of know anyone or themselves have experienced it, I know a few people who enjoyed it.
Yeah, cool. I'll definitely look into that one.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Britt, do you have any more books, or are you booked out?
Sophie Kinsella wrote a novella that I read this year that I just picked up at the library. She has got some sort of disease. That's not helpful. It's like degenerative in nature that like came on really suddenly for her, and she wrote a character experiencing the same thing and what it's like for her. And she's still living with it. Like it's something where you live for, I don't know, 2 years or 18 months or something.
Oh,
I
wow.
wonder what it is. I'm going to look it up as
So is it
live.
Is it like that locked-in syndrome or something? Like, have you ever read The Diving Bell and the Butterfly?
No.
Oh, I think that one sounds too sad for me.
She's got brain cancer.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
my heart.
Yeah, and the book is called What Does It Feel Like?
Ah.
I realize this is not going to be for everyone. I probably am a bit of a sicko. One of the things one of the things I liked about it is because I think when my mum was unwell and she had died of cancer, there were a lot of things I didn't ask about her experience of having cancer. One, because she was unwell, and two, because I just didn't think of certain things. And so I liked reading it because I was like, oh, it's obviously like her experience is not going to be everyone's experience, but it's interesting to read from the perspective of someone that's unwell, like what that experience is like. And just because she's a writer, she can articulate really well and how she feels about her children and her husband and the symptoms that show up for her, which in her case were about, I think she just was forgetting things and stuff. I mean, brain cancer is pretty awful.
Weirdly
Yeah,
enough, I actually think you would like The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. It was written by a French guy who he had this horrible disease where he effectively was like locked in his body. And I think he dictated this book by blinking. So someone is actually putting down all the letters. And because he had been like a journalist and a writer for all of his life, and he communicates like how grateful he is for the smallest things like that make up his day.
Wow.
And it's like this tiny book and it's beautiful. And then I think he died not long after he finished it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like this little memoir,
Mm.
right? It does really communicate, like similarly to what you're saying with the brain cancer. I mean, Sophie Kinsella. It's just kind of similar.
Mm. And I quite enjoy Sophie's other books. They're light kind of romance. Yes, I loved Confessions of a Shopaholic series, and I've just randomly picked books of hers off the shelf at the library and read them, and like they're easy, light, nice reads.
Yeah, I haven't read any of hers.
And they're not like crazy racy, which sometimes I just find a bit annoying. I'm like, I don't want to read another sex scene. Like, come on.
Yeah, you're like, this is also why I think you would like the J.K. Rowling ones.
Mhm.
The romance in there is just lovely. And
Yeah.
it's not racy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about idealistic romance, you know?
I find it hard. Look, I find it hard recommending stuff these days because it's also like, oh, yep, it's got a little bit of swearing in it. Oh no, it's got like a little bit of like a couple of scenes that you might want to skip over. Like you're like,
Yeah. And it's so individual. What people feel okay about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Yeah, like
also
exactly what that is.
just want to shout out the Book of James. Really enjoyed that recently. It's got some good stuff to say about the world and how to live in it.
So we did it a couple of years ago and I just listened to it repetitively, I think because I was on prac and I was like, I can't take in anything new.
Yeah.
But I would just listen to it while I was driving to and from work. So I was like, I came prepared for when I go to like my small group. It was just a small group of women. But actually, because of that, parts of it have just stuck in my head.
Yeah, amazing.
That's the closest I've got to memorizing. But it's a great book.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of wisdom.
What's our next ones? Next categories?
The next category is, okay,
TV shows.
I'm going to start because I only have one recommendation. Because I had a baby in the last year or so. I'm like, I'm completely out. I'm here for recommendations. I was like, I'm like someone who's sick leave day. All I have is books. So I watched New Girl because Zach won't watch it with me. And I had a baby and I was like, I'm just going to watch TV. And it was awesome. I loved it. I was like, the banter is great. I love jazz. I love Schmidt. And Nick. I love it. I just had a great time. I watched 2 seasons on my own. I was like, it's up there with like Community and 30 Rock for me. I'm like, this is just lovely. And that's it. That's my whole recommendation.
Love it.
Britt, hit me with the TV. Tell me what's good.
Okay. So
I mean, don't hit me with the TV, but
tell you what I liked, yeah. Okay, Dave and I this year watched Band of Brothers, which is actually really old.
I've never seen it, but I have heard of it.
I haven't seen it either.
Set in the war, it's a platoon of men moving through And then at the end, at the start of each episode, you see these old men like reflecting back, and they are the real people that the story's kind of based on.
Oh, wow.
And at the end, you find out who's who. So you don't know when you're watching it who is who. It is very moving and just an interesting story. I think it gives you a good sense of like just the collective trauma that the war was for everyone, and the fact that everyone just not pretended it didn't happen, but it was so normal to them that they didn't think it was particularly difficult. And there's, even there's a scene in it where someone has shell shock and they're like, oh, he's just got shell shock. Like, this guy's a real trauma response, guys. There's real things we could do to help here. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that. And also Severance Season 2.
Severance.
I haven't even seen Severance Season 1, but I did watch the trailer because you were like, you have to watch this. And then I don't know, I just never did.
I don't think Season 2 was as strong as Season 1. But Season 1 finished and I could not stop thinking about it, like trying to work out in my head what was going to happen next. I loved it. So much so that I have a friend that I've recommended it to so many times and forget that she has tried and did not like it, that her and her husband were like, do not mention this show to us. We're done. Like, stop talking about it, because I was a bit evangelistic about it. But yeah, I enjoyed Season 2. I will keep watching. Australian Story this year has been really good. If you ever watch Australian Story, there's 2 particular episodes. It's on ABC, free to air. So there was one on the artist Alex Lloyd, if you remember the song Amazing from like 15 years ago. You are amazing. That's right.
I was waiting for someone to sing it.
So it was
Beautiful.
all of that kind of like, it was like what had happened to him. And he has a fascinating life story. And then there was another one on basically this like co-op thing where they gave women who were vulnerable like a certain amount of money to build a like tiny home. So they had to put in a certain amount of money and then the company matched a certain amount. And then it follows the stories of these women trying to like basically get a house, because the biggest growing sector of homelessness is women in their 50s and 60s, basically, because they don't have super, and often they've been in like DV situations or they haven't worked full time because they've had kids and stuff, and then they find themselves really vulnerable all of a sudden with literally nothing. So it was just like really warming, actually, to see this like kind of social project. And then I really binged The Summer I Turned Pretty. So
I want to watch that, and I have not. But maybe this is my summer for it.
It's not for everyone. I not only watched, so season 3, it became like a weekly thing with some friends of mine. They would come to my house every Wednesday night and we would watch it together, which I just recommend having. If you've got any friend, watch with them, because then it becomes about like actually hanging out together. And obviously handy that they were willing to come to my house because I couldn't leave, but they could come to me, and we would have dinner together and we would watch the episode every Wednesday and chat about it. And I got obsessed, like watched the show, read the Reddit forums, reread the books, rewatched
That's what you need. I want something where I can be like, I want to deep dive this.
I've like deleted social media this week, which is just like a reoccurring theme in my life. But literally all my For You page on Instagram was just mini clips of the show, because I would stop and watch them all the time on social media. It's tragic. The internet knew that I was Googling it all the time. But yeah, I got obsessed. I got really obsessed. And a movie's coming out in a few years and I'm probably going to get obsessed when that happens too. But
you have to reread and rewatch everything again. It's great.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe don't watch it, but I liked it. It was fun. Also a great soundtrack. Such a great soundtrack.
Oh, something with a good soundtrack does come.
Actually, that's what you hear me think about. We were talking about the OC off air. I'm like, maybe I should rewatch the OC, but I'm scared that it hasn't aged well. But I'm kind of there for
In what way do you think it hasn't aged well?
I don't know. I haven't seen it since I was a teenager.
Well, I have
watch it
actually,
now
but I
and
still
I'm
can't
like-
remember anything.
I don't know. What if I watch it now and it's bad and then I'm like, ah. I mean, it was bad when I watched it, but I loved it.
It's nostalgia.
Yeah, I reckon it would be okay. I also think probably the fashion has come back around enough that you'll be like, this is so funny. People are now wearing this again.
Oh, I know.
Oh, has it? Interesting.
I watched the
I
in
think
New Girl
so.
and all the girls are wearing the clumpy high heels and I'm like, they haven't come back. And I'm like, you look cool, but now I'm also like, but now not so cool.
Well, like
Those
salt.
really these those big clumpy high
Yeah.
heels, like those big
Yeah.
those massive heels. Yeah, for me, thank you. I'm like, I'm just gesturing.
Yeah.
I don't words, they're gone.
You want them to come back?
No. But I see them, I'm like,
they were not comfy.
No, they were terrible. And the bandage dresses, but they're all there and you're like, wow. I used to wear that. I forgot about those.
Bandage dresses are coming.
Oh dear.
No.
They're terrible. They are so
not doing it
bad.
again. I'm not doing it again.
Well, also, like, where are you going to wear it? To the park?
I'm just gonna wear it to church, and just a set of platform heels.
Just walked out of the like 2010s.
No. Can't sit down.
We're to
Can't
sit
sit
down at the church, but you feel like slide because you can't sit in a bandage.
Just slip off the seat.
Just roll.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. I know. I just see the outfits and I'm like, oh wow. Yep. Anyway,
What was
where
cool?
have I taken us? I'm like, yeah, it was cool, yeah, but I can't go back to like low rise jeans and I can't go back to bandage dresses and
No.
also like the singlets. Okay, completely. This is not where we're supposed to be going. TV.
Maddie.
Maddie,
Matt.
talk to us
Yep.
about the TV. I am so on to this. I am great at coordinating discussion. I'm super talented.
Look, I thought really hard about the TV show one, and I was like, watching Bluey count? They're like 7-minute episodes, and they're so wholesome.
Oh, they're great. They're actually funny.
And I love that there's like adult humor in there, and then there's like kids humor. Like before I had kids, I watched episodes of Bluey. Like they were just, it was a fun little like clip. Also, my friends' kids were watching them, so I was like, I really need to figure out what this thing is. But they recommended an episode called Magic Asparagus, and it made me laugh so hard. Anyway,
I know it.
and no, I'm really into Australian drama, and recently on Netflix I watched Survivors, which is like set in Tasmania, and it's a Jane Harper wrote The Dry, which
Yeah.
Eric Bana was in it, and also Force of Nature.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, look, I enjoyed those. I do like those books, and I read The Survivors as well. And so this TV series is based on her book, The Survivors. And she's got a new book coming out soon. So anyway, I watched that recently, and yeah, I enjoyed that. It's like an acquired taste, really. Like Robbie didn't like watching it at all, and of course, in some ways, it's like the worst of Australian stereotype as well. So I don't know, kind of watch it with a bit of like, grain of salt. But otherwise, I do really like to just like veg out in some other fantasy series. Like I've watched The Rings of Power and, the Lord of the Rings
We did.
prequel and stuff.
My husband-in-law,
Yeah.
he loves The Lord of the Rings. He listens to a podcast that has I think
Yeah.
it might take 7 years to get through the entire books. He loves them, and we tried, I think we watched the first season of it. We watched the first season of it. And then the second, I was like, I need to give up. I can't keep going. I'm losing the will.
I can't do Lord of the Rings. I saw one of them in the cinema on when it came out on Boxing Day, like probably 5 years
Oh, the
ago now.
movies are good. I like it.
It's probably longer. I fell asleep. I was like, what is this? I apologize because
I've read them. I'm like, and I
I've
read them and I watched them, but
I audiobooked the books. They were good. I did fall asleep in the first movies when they first came out, but I have since watched them as well and enjoyed them.
Okay.
But yeah, I just do like a bit of fantasy. I enjoyed like The Mandalorian. That was actually quite entertaining. Again,
I
to
did
me,
like
it's like
that
an
show,
entertaining
yeah.
thing. Yeah, and
And
like there's a
Andor?
couple of other spin-off. Andor, that's the other one.
Andor,
The
that
other
was
one.
great.
That was a great one.
See that.
It's like the spy, like kind of the beginning of the rebellion, and so like the early rebels kind of coming together. So that's really interesting, like kind of in a fantasy land. So I've got a few genres.
That's good.
Depends where my mental state is. Usually I go for fantasy if I just can't be bothered with real life.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I kind of bounce around. I'm like, I like fantasy and crime and mystery. I don't know. I read a bit of everything. But anyway.
And when in doubt, 7 minutes of Bluey.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
quite sweet. Do you ever watch reality TV, you guys?
No, I can't do it.
Okay,
Not really.
the only one I love is Survivor. I just
I don't think I've watched
I
reality
have friends who
TV in a
love it.
long time.
I can't. There's nothing else I'm interested in, like reality TV wise. Like I don't really watch The Block or MasterChef or.
I
I
do
do
like
watch
the
it
like
a little
fake
bit.
curated kind of thing. It comes across really false to me.
Yeah.
You know that behind camera, you're like, oh, if you do it like this, the audience will love. Like anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, not a big fan, but you can love it. Yeah,
Thank you.
like it.
Maddie says you're okay. I'm just like, look, what I had to say.
I mean, it's
See the TV behind me.
Okay.
My child threw a
Yeah.
spear at my TV. See, I'm like, I don't even watch TV anymore because the child threw a spear at the TV and I'm doing natural consequences. I'm like, can't have a TV now. That's been fun.
Love it.
The majority of our watching recently has been Formula One.
Oh wow,
Mm.
Yeah,
that's reality.
Robbie and I are into the Formula One. So it's a reality show. You know, Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, great for you.
You're just like smiling.
Do
nodding.
you? Yeah.
Hey,
I feel affirmed.
Maddie,
my
just
gosh.
live your truth, okay?
Yeah, I will.
Oh my god.
That's good for you.
Okay, look, let's just quick fire round. Each recommend a podcast or two, and yeah, and then
All right, I got one.
Go.
okay, I'm
Sherlock and Co. It's just like modern day Sherlock Holmes, but he podcasts instead of like writes it. It's hilarious.
I tried to listen to it, and then I realized that he sounded like Benedict Cumberbatch. So then I just went and watched some of the. I watched like the first season of Sherlock,
Sherlock?
but yeah, with
I
man-
love
no, I
Benedict
can't say
Cumberbatch
actually.
as Sherlock.
him and
And Martin
there
Freeman.
we go, and it was great. Martin Freeman, yeah,
It's great. He was good.
couldn't listen to it. Yeah, cool.
All right, that's my one.
Tell us what you love.
Mushroom Case Daily. Again, there's a theme because I got obsessed. I read the memes. I listened to the story. I read a lot of articles. There was like
Instagram feed was full.
yeah, it really was. But I mean, the context is though that like there's a mum at school my kid goes to who equally got obsessed. And so we would just message each other like, did you see this update? Did you see this? And like that's if you'd read our messages, like they're so boring, but it's just us talking about the Mushroom Case Daily.
Mushrooms.
So I did get into that. And obviously that was a fascinating case, especially once she was convicted because a lot more information came out. And then I do listen to the Shameless podcast. And like some weeks I'm like, great. And some weeks I'm not as interested. But there was an episode last week where they talked about trigger warnings and like what the research actually says about whether they're even effective. And they talked about kind of this victim mentality that can occur where like someone will be, say someone's posting about like a video of making mushroom soup. And then one of the comments will be like, but I'm allergic to mushrooms. It's like this kind of like, it was the whole idea was like we've individualized ourselves so much that we're almost like offended if someone does something that we can't then do. rather than like continue.
Literally seen these comments come up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite common. So yeah, it was just a really interesting look at that idea, and it's a secular podcast, but yeah, I thought it was really interesting how they had come to some of the conclusions they'd come to, and also they talked a lot about kind of wanting to ground themselves outside of like being on their phone, or how that helps you think about other people and think outside of yourself. And Beck and I were talking about this as kind of like a reflection of common grace to even yearn for that as a human being. So I just really liked that episode. So I would recommend that one.
I know. Here I was like, you texted to me, and then I was like texting you updates as I'm listening to it. I was like,
Oh, I love that
come on,
role.
guys. Oh, yes. Yes. I was like, I love the just, yeah. Oh, just the co-listening. I honestly look back at my podcast listening history, and you're like, I don't even think I have anything really that fun to recommend. The only thing that I really can recommend, but I haven't even listened to probably like this year, but I really enjoyed it, and I kind of binged it for, I reckon, solidly a year, was Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. And
No, Brian needs a friend.
Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. So he like stopped running his TV show, and then he's got like 3 people on with him, and one of them's like his assistant, who they have this long running joke is like the worst assistant ever. And they get different people on and like interview them, but then they just talk to people like random listeners, like in different countries, like from all over the place, and he interviews them, and he's just genuinely funny. Like, he's totally there just to make a joke about himself. Like, the whole thing is completely ridiculous all of the time. But you can just tell, you're like, he's made heaps of money. He's not there to like really promote anything. He's just actually there to crack jokes, and that's probably my best recommendation. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. I feel like that's probably gonna have to be I'm gonna get into that over the summer. Awesome. Okay. Well, I think to sum up, we all have fairly different types of things that we love.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a good recommendation can make for a very good summer. So I think overall what we really want to say is thank you so much for listening to our podcast, for listening to us as we kind of work out how to podcast. I have been so grateful for all of the people who have just like randomly text in one of us to give us like really useful feedback. Like, maybe you guys, I don't know who you are, maybe you guys should introduce yourselves, or like maybe you guys should sum up, or yeah, just actually being like, there are other people listening to this apart from, my mum. It's been really sweet. And something that we would really appreciate if you want to write in over the break. So we have a break from December, January, and February. So our season runs from March through to November. So if there's something that you guys want us to cover, if there's a topic that you would like us to cover or you're interested in, please email us. So my email address is, in the show notes, but it's rebecca@storiesitellyoutdinner.com.au. You can send an email through there and let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys. That's it from us, friends. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, you can sign up to our free weekly newsletter called Stories I Tell You at Dinner. So you get essays, poetry, podcast episodes, everything, photo essays straight to your inbox on Wednesdays from March through to November from Christian women in Western Australia. If you'd like that, the link is in the show notes. Thanks for listening, guys.